Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Om Swastiastu, Namo Buddhaya, Salam Kebajikan. Excellencies, distinguished guests, delegates, ladies and gentlemen, good evening, selamat malam. Welcome to Asia Africa Ballroom of Savoy Homan Bidakara Hotel Bandung. Still at the Asia Africa Youth Forum 2025. I really love the energy and also the spirits of all participants, excellencies, and all delegates. Allow me to introduce myself. It's still with me. My name is Diki Irdan. Glad to be back, and so a great pleasure and absolute honor to be here to host the historical event in Asia, Africa. So distinguished guests, delegates, ladies and gentlemen, it seems like all of our distinguished delegates been through a very long, exciting day. There's been several activities that has been joined and also followed by all of our participants and all delegates. One of the activities are the chamber sessions or the parallel discussion, which discuss about three main topics based on the three pillars of Asia Africa Youth Forum 2025. But before we begin, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, again and again, I'd like to greet all of our VIVs. Thank you for coming to Savoy Homan Bidakara Hotel, and also all of the excellencies and all participants. Thank you for spending your time. Thank you for the unstoppable spirit and energy to be part of the historical event of Asia Africa in Bandung as the capital city of Asia Africa. We really hope that you will enjoy all the interesting things that you will find in Bandung. And of course, everybody in this ballroom also really cannot wait for the main event of the Asia Africa Festival that there will be tomorrow in 18 and also 19 of August 2025. So distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen, tonight we will present you some of the exciting agenda. Those are the draft approval, the submissions, and also the appreciation moment. We also will invite you to explore the whole activity that has been followed by all the distinguished delegates and participants of Asia Africa 2025. This year, Bandung must be very proud to host again a very historical event that involves more than 29 countries of Asia Africa, more than 200 delegates who also speaks up about some of the things that become our concern globally, such as trade, tourism, and also investment. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, the first event that will be presented to you tonight is the draft approval. So in this very special opportunity at this Asia Africa Ballroom of Savoy Homan Bidakara Hotel Bandung, allow me to invite the chairpersons of all chambers for heading to a very special and important sessions of draft approval. Can we give a big round of applause for all chairpersons? The first one, the chairpersons of Tourism Chamber, Miss Lulita Showman. The second one to join Ms. Lulita Showman, the chairpersons of Trade Chamber. Give a big round of applause for Hans Marvin. Round of applause for Mr. Hans Marvin. And then last, distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen, as I told you, there are three chambers today which talks about the three pillars of Asia-Africa Youth Forum. As we have Ms. Lulita Showman and also Mr. Hans Marvin. The last one to join the chairpersons on the stage is the chairpersons of Investment Chamber. Round of applause for Mr. Giras Bowo. Okay, before we heading to the main event tonight that most of the delegates and all of the participants been waiting for, it's going to be a very special opportunity for me to talk to all the chairpersons on the stage for having the draft approval sessions, because as the chamber room discussions happen this afternoon, I also joined the discussion. It was very intense, but quite exciting. I also listened and heard many different perspectives, preference, and ideas of many delegates who participates. May I know maybe from Ms. Lolita Showman, what happened in your chamber room? Because it's quite really interesting and exciting to talk about the tourism in Asia, Africa.
Well, thank you for the questions. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening. Good evening, esteemed delegates, esteemed excellencies, and all the guests. Well, today was quite fun because I always believe that youth are not the future. Youth are the now. We are the now, guys. And in Tourism Chamber, we talk a lot about tourism and its impact globally because as we mentioned, we believe that in tourism itself, three underlying principles of SDGs should always be maintained. Social, cultural, economy, that always have been become the best baseline for tourism itself. So it's quite fun. And thank you. Where is my chamber, tourism chamber? Delegates? Oh my God. You guys are amazing. You guys are the future diplomats or even ambassador. And we have the delegations of Tanzania. I guess he will be the next president. Or the future president of Tanzania, my dear friend. Thank you. Thank you for all of you for exchange ideas and giving your perspective in a way that we seek for the consensus of Tourism Chamber. Thank you once again.
Thank you so much. Round of applause for one of the chairpersons from Tourism Chamber, Ms. Lulita Showman, who maybe also represent the whole chairperson tonight to speak about what's happening earlier this afternoon, because it was very intense. Many ideas comes from many delegates. And now I think it's time to approve the draft that has been discussed with all the ideas from the distinguished delegates who participate and joining the parallel panel discussions at the second day event of Asia Africa Youth Forum.
Thank you very much. Okay, I hope I'm audible to everyone, right? Okay, thank you. Shall we get started? I'm kind of nervous for the approval. Distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen, as we stand at the culminating moment of the Asia-Africa Youth Forum 2025, it is my profound honor to preside over this final plenary session. Throughout today, in our chambers of tourism, trade, and investment, You have demonstrated exceptional dedication, collaboration, and a visionary spirit. Together, we have forged a unified youth message, an enduring testament to our collective aspiration and values. Now, at this historic juncture, I will read aloud the full consolidated youth message reflecting the shared commitment and hopes of this assembly. Allow me 1 second. Asia Africa Youth Forum 2025 Youth Message. We, the delegates of the Asia Africa Youth Forum 2025, or AAYF 2025, representing youth from Asia, Africa, and the Global South, gathered in Bandung 70 years after the historic 1955 Asia-Africa Conference to reaffirm our shared values of solidarity, sovereignty, and South-South cooperation. 1, we reaffirm the vital role of youth as key agents advancing South-South cooperation and youth-led economic, social, and environmental diplomacy in line with the Bandung Conference legacy and the 2015 Jakarta message. We urge regional and multilateral stakeholders to institutionalize youth-led economic diplomacy based on mutual respect, non-interference, and cooperation. 2, we acknowledge the Bandung's historic and strategic role as a diplomatic hub and call for greater support to strengthen the city and its sister city networks as centers for youth-led cooperation in tourism, trade, investment, innovation, and cultural diplomacy. 3, we support establishing and revitalizing sister city and community partnership across Asia, Africa, and the Global South to deepen cooperation in tourism, facilitate trade, attract investment, and promote youth exchanges and entrepreneurial ventures. 4, we call for nominating the historic Bandung Conference site as a UNESCO World Heritage Site and launching a broader initiative to identify, nominate, and protect other shared cultural landmarks throughout Asia, Africa, and the Global South. 5, we urge government and tourism organizations to integrate youth participation into national and regional tourism strategies, particularly in ecotourism and community-based tourism, and to implement inclusive visa policies that facilitate youth mobility across regions in accordance with UN guidelines. 6, we advocate empowering young entrepreneurs across Asia, Africa, and the Global South by creating inclusive trade ecosystem, facilitating market access, fair financing, and technology transfer. We encourage the establishment of dedicated platform for knowledge sharing in the digital, creative, and green economies. 7, we call for greater investment in youth-led startups and sustainable sectors, including the establishment of an Asia, Africa, and Global South Young Entrepreneurs Investment Fund to provide seed capital, incentive, and mentorship aligned with the Sustainable Development Goals. 8, we reaffirm our unwavering solidarity with the Palestinian people's struggle for self-determination and support their full membership in the United Nations, continuing the anti-colonial spirit of Bandung. 9, we recognize the critical role of youth in the youth, peace, and security agenda, acknowledging their contributions to conflict prevention, resolution, and peace building across Asia, Africa, and the Global South. 10, we encourage enhanced South-South cooperation in tourism, trade, and investment to foster shared development solutions, build resilient regional economies, and promote inclusive financial structure independent of traditional powers. Delegates, ladies and gentlemen, having presented this powerful and visionary message, it is with immense pride that I declare this youth message formally adopted by consensus. I now invite my esteemed co-chairs to share briefly their reflection of today. Lolita, Chair of the Tourism Chamber, the floor is yours.
Thank you. Delegates, as we now conclude our sessions in Asia Africa Youth Forum, I always believe that Bandung always become the hub and become something that very special in all of our hearts. And now, let us not just stop the discussions. Let us lead, because we are the leader, and I believe that youth always can create change. Thank you.
Thank you, Lolita. Hans, Chair of the Trade Chamber, please share your thoughts.
Thank you, Giras. Thank you, Giras. So once again, hello everyone. I am Hans, the chair for the Trade Chamber. I would like to thank all the delegates. I would like to thank my co-chairs for going through today's discussion, a very heated discussion that I absolutely enjoy, and I do believe the co-chairs and the delegates would believe. And we would like to appreciate all the efforts the delegates had put forth. Even I, as myself, as a teacher, I still learn new things every day. I learn that discussions like this is never the end. It's the start for something new. It's the start to trailblaze new programs to help everybody all around the world. And not only that, I'm always reminded to always be bold in your ideas. If you know that something has to be done, make sure that it is done. That is all from me. Once again, I can never thank all the delegates enough for all the contributions they have done. And once again, let me say my final thank you.
Thank you so much, Hans. I think lastly for me, on behalf of the Investment Chamber, I express my deepest gratitude for the unwavering dedication and spirit of cooperation that has defined this forum. Your passion and collective voice inspire profound confidence in the power of youth to lead transformative change. With these reflections and with great solemnity, I hereby declare this plenary officially adjourned. I wish you all safe travels and continued success as you carry forward the spirits and vision of this forum into your communities and beyond. Thank you so much.
Distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen, please give a big round of applause for all of our three chairpersons. You may please remain on the stage, join me right in front of the table. And we're really grateful because the draft has been approved. Finally, after a very long discussion, if you were here earlier this afternoon, you may witnessing how all the ideas, all of the different perspective comes out from each distinguished delegates and also participants of Asia Africa Youth Forum 2025. I really want to listen and also want to know every single of you maybe have a very different thoughts and also point of view and perspective about the three main pillars of Asia Africa Youth Forum 2025. It's currently the global issue happening right now, which also happening in so many different aspects. And what do you guys think about these three pillars? Why should we put a huge concern on trade, tourism, and investment? Why these three pillars important for us as young generations of Asia Africa? I'm gonna start first. Ladies first, or okay, Hans maybe.
So we believe that all these three actions, these three pillars, they are, we would say, not only pillars of our discussion today, but they are major pillars to the livelihood of many people. We're not only talking about Asia, Africa, maybe beyond, but then especially Asia Africa, and the Global South. They are highly dependent onto these three aspects, and we see they are essential parts of people's livelihood that many sometimes ignore or less focused on. So that's why we would like to highlight, once again, these three pillars to ensure that our ideas, the ideas that has been cemented onto the draft, can be the guiding principle for future developments onto these three areas.
All right, that was from Hans. Applause for Hans. And what about Giras? Your perspective about how important these three pillars for us as a young generation of Asia Africa.
I think the three pillars is very much interlink between trade, tourism, and investment. But I would just like to highlight first, in terms of investment, we keep saying that we want to support youth engagement or youth initiative. But again, it's always hard to get those kind of investment or seed capital for youth to be meaningfully engaged. So I think it's very important to have an investment mechanism for youth. And most importantly, I think as the youth message states, I think in the last point, was beyond traditional forms, is that we need investment, a South-South investment. We need to work together, not with the northern countries, the global north, but also we need to reinforce our connection together, our power together, that we can empower each other in the South, the global South. That's my mean.
All right, thank you so much, Giras, for your perspective about the three pillars. So what about from the chairpersons of Tourism Chamber, Lulita Showman?
Thank you. I believe these three pillars are very interconnected one and another, and especially tourism. I mean, if we talk about South-South collaborations and Asia-Africa, in Tourism Chamber just now, we mentioning about archipelagic countries. And I think all of our country has a diversity, has many cultures. And with the Bandung Spirit and of course, the link to Asia-Africa Conference and Bandung message, of course, these three pillars are the highlights, are the top highlights. And additionally, these three pillars also become the missions of Bandung government itself. So right now, under the leadership of Bapak Farhan, he wants to really focusing on these three pillars and also including all young people here, especially led by the youth from Bandung itself. So it's the linkage, the interconnections between the three pillars. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, it was a very outstanding perspective from each and every one of you as a chairperson, because it was very intense. Every single country, has different capabilities and challenges in overcome each problem of trade, tourism, and also investment. But they will always have many ideas. By collaborations, by South cooperation, hopefully it will be very easy to help each other for the countries of Asia, Africa. Ladies and gentlemen, please give a big round of applause for our three chairpersons. You may please remain on the stage, because for your huge effort to lead the chamber room parallel panel discussions, the Asia Africa Youth Forum would reward you with the appreciation tonight. So ladies and gentlemen, there will be appreciation that will be given to each chairpersons of Tourism Chamber, Lulita Showman, Trade Chamber, Hans Marvin, and also Investment Chamber, Mr. Giras Bowo. For this moment, I would like to invite the chairman of Asia Africa Youth Forum 2025 to present you the reward or the appreciations at the second day event of Asia Africa Youth Forum. Ladies and gentlemen, round of applause for the chairman of Asia Africa Youth Forum, Ms. Priyanka Putri Arifia.
me also invite Ibu Kepala Dinas Arsip dan Perpustakaan, Ibu Kenny, Bapak Anton selaku Kepala Bagian Kepala Baperida, dan juga Ibu Rinrin. Oke, kami invite ke atas panggung Ibu Kepala Dinas dan Arsip, Kepala Dinas Arsip dan Perpustakaan Kota Bandung, Bapak Kepala Baperida Kota Bandung, untuk kita bersama-sama menyerahkan penghargaan kepada perwakilan dari masing-masing chamber AIF. Dipersilakan untuk kepada Bu Kenny, pertama kepada Lita mungkin. Give applause guys for Tourism Chamber. Who's in the Tourism Chamber? Give applause, okay. And next, for Investment Chamber, kepada Bapak Anton dipersilakan untuk diberikan kepada Kakang Giras. Who's in Investment Chamber? Give your biggest applause guys. This is for you. And then last but not least, Trade Chamber. Who's in Trade Chamber? Okay, biggest applause here. Let's take a picture together.
Round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, for the very special moment that we had on the stage. That was the appreciation to our three chairpersons who have led a very interesting discussion in each chamber at the second day of Asia Africa Youth Forum 2025, part of the Asia Africa Festival 2025. We really believe that by all of the ideas and positive insight from all delegates who joining and participating actively in the discussion, because all of the delegates and participants were engaged very positive and also, have many ideas about the three main concerns, the three pillars of Asia-Africa trade, tourism, and also investment. And now, distinguished guest delegates, ladies and gentlemen, I think it's really it's a great pleasure to get closer with each and every one of you. As we talk to the three chairpersons, we have listened to the perspective from the chairperson. What about listen to some of the perspective from the delegates or participations? Is there any one of you who wanna, say something? How was the discussion? Okay, I'm getting closer to your table. I'm gonna get closer to your table. Can you please introduce yourself and your country?
Good evening, my fellow delegates.
Evening.
I'm very honored to be sharing my opinion tonight. We discussed a lot about trade, but unfortunately, I missed the tourism forum because what I'm going to share probably could be considered in that, in the clauses that were discussed in the tourism. Africa contributed a lot, probably, in the first Asia-African conference. But one challenge I've experienced here in Bandung, I have visited places that are historical, but the faces or the monuments that are presented, most of them are of Asian heroes who participated in that conference. What about Africa? I'm just making a request. We have heroes that we identify with in the struggle of decolonizing Africa. And those heroes represent what we went through to get independence. And if Asia Africa was the beginning of that struggle, please, can we also get them recognized in this wonderful city of Bandung by putting their monuments, at least 2 or 3 of them, so that when a story is told, we can identify, we can be emotionally attached to that. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for your thoughts about Asia Africa Youth Forum, and of course, we hope that Africa. We cannot deny there are so many important roles that Africa has put to also bring the better change for the life of many countries, precisely in Asia and also Africa. Thank you so much. Can we have a round of applause for one of our delegates from the Africa? And now, distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen, we'd like to warmly welcome the Mayor of Bandung, the Honorable Mr. Muhammad Farhan. Kami ucapkan selamat malam dan selamat datang kepada Wali Kota Bandung, Bapak Muhammad Farhan, bersama dengan jajaran pemerintahan Kota Bandung yang juga hadir malam hari ini. A very warm welcome to Mr. Muhammad Farhan as the Mayor of Bandung. Thank you for spending your time to be part of this special event of Asia Africa Youth Forum as part of the Asia Africa Festival 2025. All right, Mr. Mayor, thank you for being here. Thank you. And allow me to also greet all of the VIPs that is also present and attend a very special event of the dinner and appreciation night of Asia Africa Youth Forum 2025. The representative of Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Republic of Indonesia, good evening. Thank you for being here. Excellencies, delegates of Asia and Africa, Head of Regional Apparatus Organizations of Bandung, the Chairman of Asia Africa Youth Forum, Ms. Priyanka Putri Arivia, and all the initiators of Asia Africa Youth Forum. Ibu Kenny, selaku Kepala Dinas Arsip dan juga Perpustakaan Kota Bandung, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Mr. Mayor, it's been a very long day for all delegates and also all participants. We've just approved the draft of Asia Africa Youth Forum. And it is the very right time to invite you also to explore the whole activity, the recap activities and experience of all delegates in joining the Asia Africa Youth Forum 2025. Distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen, here's to show you a video recap of all activities of Asia Africa Youth Forum 2025. Big round of applause, distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen, for the recap activities that you have had experience in joining Asia Africa Youth Forum 2025. Starting from the welcoming dinner at the Papandayan Hotel Bandung, and then the first day of the opening ceremony of Asia Africa Youth Forum 2025 and also Asia Africa Festival 2025 at Gedung Merdeka, one of the historical building in Bandung, who also be the witness of the spirits of the countries of Asia, Africa. And then last but not least, today, the second day of the event is at Savoy Homan Bidakara Hotel for the parallel panel discussion. Many ideas, many spirits, and also perspective from each and every one of you, we hope can change the world, the countries of Asia, Africa, to give the positive impact globally. Round of applause again for all the delegates and also participants of Asia Africa Youth Forum 2025. And now, distinguished guests, delegates, ladies and gentlemen, we're now heading to another important session tonight, the submissions. So I would like to invite the chairman of Asia Africa Youth Forum to come join us on the stage. Please, a big round of applause for Miss Priyanka Putri Arifia. For this procession, I also would like to invite the initiators of Asia Africa Youth Forum. Please join us on the stage, Mr. Al Rizal Irham, Mr. Reva Narendra, Mr. Vicky Fadila, and also Mr. Ishvi Robi. So we'd like to invite Al Rizal Irham, Reva Narendra, Vicky Fadila, and Ishvi Robi to joining the chairman of Asia Africa Youth Forum, Miss Priyanka Putri Arifia, for a very special and important moment tonight, the submissions.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Ladies and gentlemen, Asia Africa Youth Forum has been a very long journey, and I'm not standing here alone because this is my team. This is us, the initiator of Asia Africa Youth Forum. And once again, delegates, ladies and gentlemen, let me read again the Asia Africa Youth Forum 2025 Youth Message. We, the delegates of Asia Africa Youth Forum 2025, representing youth from Asia, Africa, and Global South, gathered in Bandung 70 years after the historic 1955 Asia-Africa Conference to reaffirm our shared values of solidarity, sovereignty, and South-South cooperation. First, we reaffirm the vital role of youth as key agent advancing South-South cooperation and youth-led economic, social, and environmental diplomacy in line with the Bandung Conference legacy and the 2015 Jakarta message. We urge regional and multilateral stakeholders to institutionalize youth-led economic diplomacy based on mutual respect, non-interference, and cooperation. Second, we acknowledge Bandung's historic and strategic role as a diplomatic hub and call for greater support to strengthen the city and its sister city network as center for youth-led cooperation in tourism, trade, investment, innovation, and cultural diplomacy. Third, we support establishing and revitalizing sister city and community partnership across Asia, Africa, and the Global South to deepen cooperation in tourism, facilitate trade, attract investment, and promote youth exchange and entrepreneurial ventures. Fourth, we call for nominating the historic Bandung Conference site as a UNESCO World Heritage Site and launching a broader initiative
to identify, nominate, and protect other shared cultural landmarks throughout Asia, Africa, and Global South. Fifth, we urge government and tourism organizations to integrate youth participation into national and regional tourism strategies, particularly in ecotourism and community-based tourism, and to implement inclusive visa policies that facilitate youth mobility across regions in accordance with UN guidelines. Sixth, we advocate empowering youth entrepreneurs across Asia, Africa, and the Global South by creating inclusive trade ecosystem, facilitating market access, fair financing, and technology transfer. We encourage the establishment of dedicated platforms for knowledge sharing in the digital, creative, and green economies. Seventh, we call for greater investment in youth-led startups and sustainable sectors, including the establishment of an Asia, Africa, and Global South Young Entrepreneurs Investment Fund to provide seed capital, incentives, mentorship aligned with sustainable development goals. Eighth, we reaffirm our unwavering solidarity with the Palestinian people's struggle from self-determination and support their full membership in the United Nations, continuing the anti-colonial spirit of Bandung. 9, we recognize the critical role of youth in the youth, peace, and security agenda, acknowledging their contribution to conflict prevention, resolution, and peace building across Asia, Africa, and the Global South. And last, 10, we encourage enhanced South cooperation in tourism, trade, and investment to foster shared development solutions, build resilient regional economies, and promote inclusive financial structure independent of traditional power. Adopted on 17 October 2025 in Bandung. Thank you.
A big round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. That was the very important draft 10 points from the discussion of each chamber of all distinguished delegates of Asia Africa Youth Forum 2025. We hope that 10 points could be implemented and also impactful to the Global South and globally to the world, of course. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we would like to invite Mayor of Bandung, the Honorable Mr. Muhammad Farhan, to join us on the stage, because the chairman of Asia Africa Youth Forum will hand over the draft for the submission process. A big round of applause for Mayor of Bandung. And now, ladies and gentlemen, live from Asia Africa Ballroom of Savoy Homan Bidakara Hotel, here's to show you the submissions of important draft that has been discussed by all distinguished delegates of Asia Africa, presented by the chairman of Asia Africa Youth Forum with all the initiators of Asia Africa Youth Forum. A round of applause for Ms. Priyanka and also all initiators, and also thank you to the Mayor of Bandung for receiving the important draft or resolutions of the Asia Africa Youth Forum 2025. Mr. Mayor, would you please remain on the stage? Remain on the stage to present the closing statement. And to all initiators and all chairmen, thank you. You may return to the seat. Return to your seat. Thank you so much.
Hey, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Distinguished delegates, everyone from all around the world, welcome again to Bandung. We have entered the weekend of Bandung which has always been the busiest days of the week, from Friday evening up to Sunday evening. As you can see, if you walk to the street, you can see a crazy traffic, because tomorrow we are going to close down the street starting at 8 o'clock. We're going to have the Asia Africa Festival Carnival. You are all welcome to join us and enjoy the diversity of Bandung and Asia Africa delegates, and also the diversity of Indonesia, especially all the cultural performance from West Java area. And also this evening, I would like to welcome again Pak Dino and Ibu Tiara. We met this morning at a very interesting event in my official residence. Is the gastro diplomacy. Judulnya apa tadi tuh? Something about pasuguhan, of course, but there's an English word for that. Something about spiritual, sensory ritual. A set of gastronomic product and art from Indonesia that shows the resilience of the food resilience of food created by the Indonesians in a harsh time when there's a big drought in some area, and those are the food. What we call in Indonesian language is makanan paceklik, the long draft food. So also this evening, I would like to welcome from Ibu Melia Wulandari. Yes, thank you, Bu, joining us. My deputy, Pak Erwin, still with the interview with CNBC. He's a very savvy media person, of course. And also I would like to welcome again His Excellency, the Ambassador of Bangladesh. Thank you, sir, for joining us again this evening. And also everyone from United Arab Emirates, from Rwanda, from Guinea, from Seychelles, from Egypt, from Malaysia, and also from Papua New Guinea. Is she still here? No, she's not. Oh, she left already. But also, of course, I am joined by all the staff of the government of the city of Bandung. Reading this makes me a proud mayor. In 1955, the history made here by our leaders, by our founding fathers and founding mothers. In this very place, we have seen the birth of solidarity among the young nations that's just been declared their independence 10 years after the World War II. Ladies and gentlemen, this is what we call a message from bottom up. Oh, please welcome Pak Erwin, the Deputy Mayor. And also, this bottom-up message should be considered by us, the mayorship of Bandung, to make sure that this message will be received by the central government. Therefore, I would like to ask all the country representatives that present in this evening to make sure that this message will be delivered to each and every central government of all the countries attending this event. This message comes from the youth of Asia and Africa. They're not diplomats. They are not assigned by any government body. They are here representing themselves and their generation. They are our future. In the next 20, 30 years, which is a very near future in this very fast-pacing global situation, that they will replace us in our position and making sure that the seed of solidarity will always grow among the people of Asia and Africa in the framework of the Global South Cooperation. Ladies and gentlemen, finally, I really hope that everyone enjoy their stay in the vibrant city of Bandung, and I really hope all of you will extend the stay because the weekend in Bandung is going to be all about Asia Africa Festival weekend. Well, just for your information, the President of Republic of Indonesia will come to Bandung, unfortunately, not to this area. He will attend another academic area down in the south part of Bandung. This is the central part of Bandung. But also, if you stay until Sunday evening, there will be an art market, the biggest art market in West Java that will happen in Institute Technology of Bandung on Sunday. And Bandung, during this weekend, will be packed with festivals. So don't rush yourself, especially for all the students, the foreign students who is studying in Bandung. Just enjoy Bandung as it is. Do not leave Bandung until Monday morning. Enjoy your stay. Thank you all very much. Wabillahi taufiq wadaya. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Distinguished guests, delegates, ladies and gentlemen, once again, big round of applause for Mayor of Bandung, Bapak Muhammad Farhan. Kami ajak Anda untuk berfoto bersama. We'd like to invite each and every one of you to joining the photo session with Mr. Mayor, Mr. Muhammad Farhan, along with Deputy Mayor of Bandung, Bapak Dr. Haji Erwin, SMPD. Kami silakan untuk dapat bergabung. Berikut juga dengan tamu undangan lainnya. And we would like to invite all delegates, all participants, please rise and joining the photo session. You may get closer and make sure that you will be captured by the camera. Would you please joining the photo session, all delegates, all participants? You can also make some rows behind the first row because the camera will capture all of the delegates and participants. All right. We will count it on me. 3, 2, 1. Okay. Another pose, maybe another pose. You can express your spirit of Asia, Africa. Okay. In 3, 2, 1. Once more with the noise. Make some noise. 3, 2, 1. Thank you for the spirits and joining Asia Africa Youth Forum as part of Asia Africa Festival 2025. Distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen, you may return to your seat. Special to all delegates, do not leave the ballroom because the night hasn't over yet. there will be some of the performances from New Meta Band to accompanying your evening at Asia Africa Ballroom, as each and every one of you having a very long day. But of course, do not forget to also joining the series event of Asia Africa Festival. Once again, thank you so much to each and every one of you, excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you to Mayor of Bandung, Deputy Mayor of Bandung, the representative of Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Bandung, head of local apparatus organizations of Bandung government, and also to all delegates and participants all across Asia, Africa. Round of applause for each and every one of you, ladies and gentlemen. To find out more about series of events of Asia Africa, you can also follow on social media at Asia Africa Youth Forum and also Asia Africa Festival 2025. I'm Diki Irdan signing off. Thank you. Good night and have a good one. Please give a big round of applause for special performances from New ETA.
Oke, thank you. Nonton lagunya boleh nyanyi sama-sama ya. Waka-waka. You're a good soldier, choosing your battles. Pick yourself up and join yourself up and back in the saddle. You're on the front line, everyone's watching. You know this series, we're getting closer, this isn't all the same. The pressure's on, you feel it, but you've got it all. Believe it, when you forget up, and when you get better, Samina, mina, sangalewa. This time for Africa, Samina, mina, waka, waka, Samina, mina, sangalewa. This time for Africa, waka, waka, listen to your God. This is our mother. People are raising their expectations. Gonna and beaten. This is your mama, no hesitation. Today's your day. I feel it. You paved the way. Believe it. And when you get it's time for Africa, say Samina, mina, Samina, mina, zangalewa. Anawa, Samina, mina, waka, waka, Samina, mina, zangalewa. It's time for Africa, say Samina, mina, no more, it's time for Africa.
Presented by Humas Kota Bandung.